Hello, welcome to the Bucker broadcast live stream for the week. There we go. Okay, it looks like I'm properly live. Welcome to the Bucker broadcast live stream for this week. I am not Howard and I am not in Japan. This is a mystery broadcaster from a mystery location in a mystery country. Anyway, so Howard is in Japan. I am not stream on the channel to not come from Japan. So I am James. I'm one of the other contributors, and I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So the date is Saturday, the 20th of May, and it is quarantine season. Oh yes, who is it? Who is it? Yes, Lazy Lion. If you are new to the channel, you might not recognize me. For people who have seen the Bucker Awards ceremony that we did at the beginning of the year to mark our first year anniversary, I am James. I also have done a few videos with Howard, more videos in the future. It is true. Over the next 2 weeks, I will probably try and make a few more videos. I'm going to try and specialize more on food and drink rather than music, although I might dip my toes into music a little bit. It's not as easy to do drinks anymore. Not drinks, sorry. It's not as easy to do it's not as easy to do music as it used to be before the demise of our of channel, but still, we do soldier on. So, yes. So, I haven't noticed what's been new in Japanese music for the past couple of weeks. So that's so I don't have any gossip. I don't know what the shoujos and shonens of the Japanese music world are up to at the moment. So, although that doesn't mean that I don't have content. I do have content. I do have content for you. That's just oh, there you go. This is who it is. It's me. And I should be a lot less muffly now. There we go. So, hello everyone. Yes. I'm pretty sure I'll see some familiar names on here from previous streams. Now, then, what does Howard normally do? What does he normally do? He normally makes the music, doesn't he? He's you're all collaborating on this music journey together, I believe. If there's any problems with my sound or video, do let me know. I doubt there will be. I think I'm on a pretty stable connection. If you have any questions to my background, have a chat going on, and we can talk about some of my interesting items. So he gets a nice beer out for his streams, doesn't he? He usually Howard normally has a beer in hand. Well, Rob Roy. Okay, Lazy Lion says it's Rob Roy. Isn't that that's a cocktail, isn't it? A Rob Roy. Drinking beer or canned coffee by this stage. Okay, well, I don't drink beer. There we go. All right. This is what's known in Japan as a kids beer. It's a children's soft drink which is modeled after beer. So if children want to pretend like they're getting drunk, because who doesn't, they can grab on a okay. Okay, okay. No. That's piha. Okay. So wine, eh? I don't like wine. Makes me gag. There you go. See, My Japanese reading speed isn't actually that great, but it's actually got like everyone. Yeah, everyone kampai, everyone cheers, drink your strange children's beer. Frame rate is inconsistent. Yes, it's not the best laptop, I'm afraid. I am using a external mic. I've got this little mic here, which is quite good, but I think the laptop itself, it's running on a very low amount of RAM, so it's not the best, I'm afraid. Howard knows a little bit about computers and tech, so even if Howard buys a cheap laptop from Akihabara for I don't know 40 quid, $50, 6,000 yen, he can make a good old job out of it actually. So Sven AKG, hello Sven, hello Penguin Krieger, thank you for letting me know about the technicals. Lag, okay, maybe I should slow down my speech a little bit just to let's close that one and close that one, because isn't Chrome F5 the stream if you're getting trouble? Okay, all right, shall do. I've got the spirits. The spirits are in my ear as well now. That's great. Okay, I am my own spirits. Brilliant. Okay, so the beer, the beer, the beer, the beer. It's actually got instructions starting those Japanese children early with their drinking. This would never fly back at home, back here. There you go. Pour it in a glass. Make sure it's foamy, clinking together, and pretend it's refreshing. It's actually quite a premium looking item. It's in a pretty sturdy glass bottle, which is quite strange, isn't it? Okay, well, how is it? Now, these aren't as common as you might think. You would have thought that they'd be everywhere, but you can't get them in supermarkets. You can't get them in convenience stores. You can only get them in like the little dagashiya places, like the little traditional sweet shops in Japan. Yeah, the dagashiya places. You can usually get them there. So refresh on phone. F5 is for viewers, not James. Oh, so I guess the stream would break if I tried to F5 it myself. It would just reload reload the whole studio. So once again, no beer for me. I have Japanese children's beer. Japanese children's, what a concept. Okay. Huh. It's got this aftertaste I can't quite catch. What's the date on it? February the 5th, 2020, I think. Okay, it's a little off. It's a little off, but not so bad. So of course, beer in some communities is a nasty tasting drink that we drink anyway because it gets you drunk for some reason. You know, in some societies, beer is pretty bad. In Japanese society, beer is it's refreshing. You know, you don't need to go to a dark, dingy pub, you know, that's been standing for 200 years, and you sit in old Fred's seat or whatever, and you get a beer. In Japan, you know, it's just get home, go out on your lunch, get a nice refreshing beer. And the beer adverts in Japan, they've got this particular sound effect, right? You go, mm. You always get the gulp sound. You get the and then they go, yeah, in Japanese beer adverts. And recently in Japan, I say recently, but it's probably been a year and a half now, they've outlawed or discouraged using that gulping, like a gokken, that gulping sound in Japanese beer adverts. So if you look at Japanese beer adverts from, say, a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or any point in television before then, and the beer adverts will have this gulping noise as they're drinking their beer, and refreshing. They discourage that now. So modern beer adverts, they don't want to. I don't know. It's probably about them not glamorizing drinking a beer, but Japanese society does that anyway. You know, a beer is a nice, refreshing drink that men and women alike can enjoy. It's not a gendered drink in Japan. You know, so in the West, wine is a feminine drink and a masculine drink, but in Japan, it doesn't seem to be that way. Hmm. So, how does this taste? Does this prepare children for a life of beer drinking? Buy your biru and drink it in front. Yes, Harry just points out makes a good point. You can buy your biru and drink it right in front of the 7-Eleven or the Family Mart or wherever you buy it. That's true. There's no restrictions on in Japan, not so much. People seem to be, on the whole, more responsible drinkers. Drinking isn't associated with daytime drinking isn't associated with binging or whatever. I mean, after dark, once all the um, after work parties start, then yes, drinking is done to excess in Japan. But people seem to have this responsible attitude towards it during the day. Yeah. Although early in the morning, you'll find pachinko parlors, not necessarily pachinko parlors, but you'll get a lot of these horse racing um, places. I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. You have horse racing establishments where you can go. I think it's Mets. I think it's Mets. I think Mets. And it's like, oh, what is it? I think like Spark Race as well, and Winners and places like that. Wins, that's it. Wins, Wins. And it's a horse racing place. And early in the morning, about 8 a.m., you will see queues of, I guess, vagrants. I suppose a lot of people, I suppose betting on the horses is affordable enough and the risk is there just enough that it does attract. In the If you're visiting Japan and you go to the Asakusa area, there is right by the big branch of Don Quixote, there's a big branch of Winds. And if you go there around 8 o'clock in the morning before you start doing all your touristy things, and you do see a big queue of people who don't look like they can really afford to be betting their money on the horses. And they're all the people who are there first thing in the morning when the horse racing begins. And it's like people do ask, oh, where are Japanese homeless? Where are Japanese down on their lucks? Where are their vagrants? I know there are like cardboard box cities in Japan, in Tokyo, you will see them, but they go to the horse racing during the day. That's why they're not actually so visible. You know, they'll come out, go to the horse racing, and then so that's kind of where Japanese sort of drunks and vagrants end up, in the pachinko parlors and in the horse racing places. This stuff, the child's training beer, cream soda, a bit cream sodary. I think it would taste better if it was fresh. It's got a kind of not so fresh flavor. Oh yes, yes. Thank you, Harry. Harry's doing such a great job. Don't forget to like and to like the stream if you can. We've got 6 on. There you go. You made a difference. There you go. That's a 18% increase on our likes overall, right there. Yes. So, Lazy Lion, you have made a good point on betting. It's illegal. Yes, of course. Also, slot machines. Also, in the West, a big source of losing your money. It's an incredible way of losing your money. Is on the fruities, on the slot machines. A pleasant place like a theme park or a pub or a family restaurant can be turned into a place of nightmares simply through the presence of a fruity machine where a man can get angry or sit there all day or become possessed with the thing. A local pub where I live closed down recently, and this one man turned up on the Facebook thread saying, "Oh, that place was great. I used to clean out the machine all the time because once you sort of learn the programming on some of these machines, it's quite easy to trick them if the owner of the machine doesn't bother to upgrade it." And the place was like, the pub said us one of the reasons we had to close is because we lost so much money on the fruit machine. And this other fellow was like, "Ha ha ha! There's all your money." Um, so you don't get those. You don't get like the fruit machines in takeaways and restaurants and pubs and clubs. You don't get those horrible little fruit machines making loads of noise and lights in places in Japan. And it's one of those other little things that creates serenity for most people. They take all that little gambling with the noises and the colors and and the risk and the reward, and they put it in the pachinko parlors where it is 20 times louder than any fruit machine you've ever seen. Uh, so yes, you may be familiar with this concept, but of course, pachinko is the little it's the vertical pinball where the the little beads go into the slots and the cups and stuff. And yes, you cannot win money, but you can win gold bars, little fake gold bars, which then you take down the street to an affiliated vendor where you trade those in for money, therefore having a socially, legally acceptable loophole. If you want to know more about that, um, there's plenty of little documentaries on the how-tos, the ins and outs of pachinko. But yeah, they should really give out earplugs to those places. They are loud. There is a scene in the movie um, Lost in Translation where, of course, they go through a pachinko parlor, and it is just deafening. I cannot imagine how that film was in the cinema, just being deafened. But even though that is a unacceptable form of gambling in Japan, technically, there are acceptable places where you can gamble and bet on the outcome. Um, Horse racing, yes, horse racing, very big. You'll see it. And another one, yes, is the boat race. This is an interesting one. Boat racing in Japan. What was this one I saw? I think it was like yeah, I think it was called like Twinkle Race or something, or Dynamite Speed Race or Twinkle Sparkle Boat Race. And you're thinking, are they serious? Boat races? But you will see adverts on TV if when you're spending any time in Japan and you see television and or on the trains. A lot of the trains have adverts playing on the little TVs, especially on more modern lines like the Yamanote line. They will have little TVs playing adverts, and yeah, you'll see a lot of adverts for these little speedboat races. They're quite fascinating. It's something that I wonder if there's a culture for tiny speedboat racing in Japan. Tiny speedboat racing in Japan is a thing. Yeah, it's a thing that maybe it would be fun to maybe get into. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting though because I wonder where they're filmed. I mean, they don't have a speedboat racing arena in Tokyo. I think maybe that would be a good subject for the future. Looking at because a lot of people talk about pachinko, but not a lot of people talk about the Japanese tiny speedboat racing. So maybe when things open up again and Howard and I are able to go out and have a bit of fun and do a bit of exploring, maybe Howard and I will explore the tiny speedboat race. That'd be fun. Yeah, you know. Just gonna get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, Howard and James go tiny speedboat racing. Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that'd be fun. So, uh, yeah. Pretty much the only acceptable forms of gambling in Japan. Yeah, the speedboat racing, and the horse racing. So, what have I been up to? I am going to contribute to the channel in the next couple of weeks. The hard part for me is the editing. The editing takes a bit of time because the computer I have is a bit pants. So, I have ideas and I have content, and okay. So Lazy Line is interjecting. You know quite a bit about this stuff. That's great. Yeah, harbors and lakes and stuff. I think it would be good to research where spectators can go for this sort of thing. It's not an easy thing to get information on through like the Western eye. So content on my end of things. Yeah, I've been going through. I don't know if Howard likes it when I spill beans on what I have got planned for the channel. We like a bit of surprises, but I have been holding on to a box. I've been accumulating Japanese Kit Kats for quite some time. I've been accumulating them for years, and I've finally done in 3 sessions because it's so hard to get them all done in one go. In 3 different runs, been getting through a box of about 50 Japanese Kit Kats. So I thought I might while away a little bit of time showing them off, perhaps, like the ones I've done. For instance, I've got, well, here's my box. That's my box of Japanese Kit Kats. This is what I've gone through. I'm not sure how many people in the stream are from the UK, but oftentimes in the media, when people talk about, oh, Japan has, dozens of flavors of Kit Kats, over 350 flavors of Kit Kats, and some people say, oh, I wish we had that, but we do. In the UK, we do have quite a few different flavors of Kit Kat. We're actually quite creative with them. You go to the supermarket and you can choose between. You can get. They've done the coffee mocha ones, and these are in the multi packs. You get 7 2-finger bar packs. You get like a long stream of 2-finger bars, but you can get mint, dark mint, coffee, cookies and cream, orange, dark chocolate. So that's 6 straight away. And then when you go into Kit Kat Chunky, the Kit Kat Chunky bars, you can get the peanut butter ones, you can get the raspberry and hazelnut ones, you can get the salted caramel, you can get the fudge. That's a lot. But wasabi Kit Kats not in the UK just yet. However, in the UK we do have green tea matcha. That is this is a British one. This is a British Kit Kat which came out late last year, and it's the matcha green tea. There you go. So, sushi flavored ice cream. We've got a mention of sushi flavored ice cream. Now, a lot of sushi has, because of course, rice pudding. So rice is the rice part can be a sweet. So there's no reason why not. And fish can, if it's sushi fish, usually has quite subtle flavors. So I can imagine that working okay. When I'm working in a sushi restaurant, we would sell. The company was called Little Moons, I think, and they would do the mochi. So that's right. You buy the regular mochi filled with ice cream, and also at trade shows and culture shows in the UK, like Hyper Japan or the MCM Comic Expo. You can usually buy them from the supplier there as well. And they also do the sesame flavored ones, like roasted sesame and chocolate, strawberry, etc., etc. So, yeah, so another limited edition Kit Kat for the UK. It's not the only one though. We also have the this is the newest one, gold Japanese Kit Kat. Sorry, gold English Kit Kat. So we don't have it so bad in the UK. Also, one thing I mentioned in the Kit Kat video, so a little bit of a preview, is this. In Japan, they brought this out. This is the Chocolatori. That's the Kit Kat specialist store in Ginza. Well, it's in Ginza now. It's a proper store, very nice looking store. But Chocolatori was the pop-up stores. It was a kiosk in the Daimaru department stores. So in big cities, Osaka, Kyoto, Sapporo, Tokyo, you could go to the Chocolatori store and get this. This was worldwide news when it came out. This is the Ruby Kit Kat, and people were saying it's a new type of chocolate. It's a new type of chocolate. It tastes like berries. We've had, what have we had before? We've had milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, that caramel chocolate, and then there's Ruby. And so this came out around Valentine's Day in 2016, I believe, or the year after, 2016, 2017. But it was big news, and it was expensive. This stuff, they were 550 yen each, so not that, quite expensive for one stick. You'd get one finger of Kit Kat in these. You get one finger, and it would come in foil. So that's inside the box. So yeah, that comes out the box, and it's one finger of Kit Kat, 550 yen. So, you know, just being just around about £4, £4.50. And these were selling for good money online. I sold them for good money online. And then about a year later in the UK and probably across Europe, we got this Kit Kat, Ruby Kit Kat in the UK, 4 fingers, so 4 times the amount. Amazing, world-beating luxury. Go to a department store and spend 550 yen on it. Bar 550 yen for one stick of Ruby Japanese Kit Kat. In the UK, 4 sticks of Japanese Ruby Kit. So 4 sticks of Ruby Kit Kat for about £1.30. And for a while, once these were on the market for a while, once these were old news, there you can buy them in Poundland in triple packs. So 3 of these for 1/4, 3 of these, so 12 sticks for a quarter of the price of one in Japan. Yeah. The thing is, I can't remember how much I was selling these for when I got back. When I got back to the UK, I cannot remember how much I was selling these for. They were doing gangbusters, those. Silly money. But now it's just regular everyday pleb food. It's pleb food in the UK. Anyone can get these. They're just, but they are good. But Ruby chocolate still is expensive. I really should be chewing food, should I? Yeah, Ruby chocolate is still a luxury across the world. Where did I see it? In I think it was, there's a standard Japanese chocolate bar. I think it's the Black Thunder bars. Very, very cheap, very standard. But when I was last in Japan a few months ago, Black Thunder were doing a ruby variety, and it was ridiculously expensive. So in Japan, ruby chocolate still an expensive luxury item. But in the UK, yes, most ruby chocolate items are expensive. I'll show you what I mean. I know we've got a couple of new viewers on right now. We're up to 10. So please bear with me for just a second and I'll show you what I mean. I'll be right back in literally a couple of, like, about 10 seconds or so. Uh-oh. Okay, I see we've got 11. Got 11. Okay. No, he's gone. He's gone. The new person gave up. Curse you. Right, okay. Just a sec. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Oh, there it is. I haven't gone. I'm still here. Right. Okay. All right. Back again. Okay. So to talk about ruby chocolate for a while, because Japan had the first adoption. Yes, the first adopted case of a commercially available ruby chocolate in the form of this. And this hasn't gone down in value in Japan. It hasn't gone down in price in Japan. That's the thing. I think Kit Kat, Nestle, got the first commercial license from the developer to make a commercial chocolate for it. However, you can still get luxury chocolate. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's still 550 yen. It's still 550 yen from the chocolatory stores. This is a higher end British brand of chocolate. Prestat is their bar of ruby. Not so bad. I mean, it's £3.25. There you go. £3.25 for this much for what, 70-gram bar. Now the thing is, it's not as pink as the Kit Kat. It's quite plain. It's quite pale, and it's not actually as good. Now you think about that. That's a 70-gram bar, and what I'm leading up to is that same year, 2019, the same year that bar came out, Kit Kat Ruby brought out a ruby Easter egg. So you could get about 70 grams. Well, you also get the bars as well. But you got like a bar of that Nestle quality. Like, got a chocolate egg made of ruby. It was pretty good. Yeah. Japanese whiskey. Yeah, Japanese whiskey. That's like a stock. That's like a stock market, isn't it? It kind of goes up and it goes down. But I wonder if people are actually losing money on it, because you can do good on it, but there's the case of the value of the currency in general moving anyway. Say, for instance, the difference between getting paid $10 an hour 5 years ago to getting $15 an hour now. So if you bought like a say $100 bottle back then, and it's 150 now, you're like, oh, it's gone up by $50. Thinking, has it really though? Because the value of currency itself has changed. Yeah. Yeah. It's been sitting in my cupboard for far too long. It's not so fresh. Hmm. Hmm. One more thing I want to show you, talking about ruby chocolate still being a luxury ingredient in Japan, is this. This is something I picked up from Family Mart a couple of months ago, and it's Ruby Choco Mint. There you go. I think that's the these guys here. I think those are the developers of Ruby in the first place. First place. So that is their that's like the original and best Ruby, perhaps. They're good enough that they've been able to put their name on it. Yeah, it's there you go. It's a choco mint drink with a ruby flavor, and it's very good. It's incredibly nice. I've had it before. Yeah, I've bought it before. There you go. I've bought it before. I've drunk it before. It's very good. I'm saving it, but I can't save it for too long because it's a milk-based drink, so it's probably going to go off quite soon. What's it got? 24th of June, best before date on there. So yeah. Now the thing is, flavored milk drinks are quite common in Japan. You'll find all sorts of crazy drinks and stuff. So talking about other Japanese rarities, yes, whiskey. Okay, so we're being told. So Lazy Lime seems quite in in Japanese consumables. Price. Ah, there we go. So wow, that's so you're telling us you bought 2 bottles of Nika 12. I think that's the, I suppose, is that the variety number or is that the years aged? I'm guessing it's 12 years aged. 2 bottles of Nika 12 a few months back, and they've doubled in price. I wonder though if that's because of the difficulty in importing right now. I wonder if their value will drop a bit once the years aged. I wonder if that will the price will change again once it's older the stuff. Also, I wonder if there's a market for limited edition bottles for the whiskey, because Jack Daniels, they have limited edition bottles and limited edition runs and such, and people are clamoring to get them. Yeah, I wonder if there's a collector's market for that stuff as well. I think my first my first sight of Nika whiskey was the big Henry VIII light up sign in Sapporo. I think the first time I went to Sapporo was 2007, and I remember seeing a big Henry VIII Nika whiskey signpost. If you're into the whiskey and you don't know that image, then yeah, you need to see it. It's pretty funny. Oh, I see. Okay, stock shortage has in has brought the value up. That's yeah, it's one of those things you kind of have to get into, isn't it? You know, these alcohol markets. I've got a friend who does a whiskey channel or a blog. He's done a whiskey blog, and he took a trip to Japan recently. I'm not entirely sure he's done a bit. I don't know if he's put his write up of that trip out there yet, but I think he was very impressed. So yeah, he was quite happy. He was quite happy with his trip there. Yeah, interesting markets. These there are all these little. There's a lot of specialist markets out there, and yeah, whiskey is one of them. It's one of those interesting things. Who knows what the next thing's going to be? Maybe we'll get a taste for the fine Japanese melon or other packaged fruits. You never know. Hmm. Japanese children's beer. There's something off about that. Oh, the flavors. There's this kind of musky flavor in there that I can't put my finger on. So, I tried to come prepared with some items to talk about. You know, I've got my box of Kit Kats and I've got my Japanese beer, but yeah. So the music is one of those things that, of course, this channel is mostly about. The category we're under is music, but of course, yeah, you know, I'm not in it for that. Of course, yeah, if I listen to music, I'll have my opinion on it. But I'm more into Japanese food and drink, and I was raised on anime. You know, I watched, I watched anime I shouldn't have when I was young. I think I was like 12 or 13 when I first watched like Yotsuki Doji and stuff. But I'm into Japanese food, and yeah, strawberries. Yes, white strawberries. Now, there was a on our broadcaster in the UK, Channel 4, they did a series with one of the hosts of the Great British Bake Off, which is a worldwide known show now. But one of their hosts, Paul Hollywood, he's a renowned, one way or another, he's a renowned baker. And they sent him off to Japan a few weeks. Of course, we're getting a bit of the old you know, make documentaries about Japan mania at the moment, where they send various people off to Japan and, oh, you know, it's got the Olympics, so go look at Japan, see how crazy it is. But we don't really get much of that anymore. It more is a case of, oh, look how wonderful this country is. But anyway, James May off of Top Gear, he did a series for Amazon going to Japan, and they've done a few others recently as well. Guy Martin, who's very well known for doing racing speed channels, done racing speed programs. He went to Japan, but Paul Hollywood, they sent into Japan, and they introduced him to like the most expensive strawberries, and these ones weren't white. The white ones you can buy in the basements of department stores in their food markets, but these strawberries he went to see, they were big and red and plump. And before he had a chance to try them, of course, he was skeptical. He's like, "Strawberries are strawberries. Oh, I can use them to make a tart. I can make them to use. I can use them to make a scone, whatever." But yeah, he tried one of these expensive strawberries after paying for it with his own money. He's like, you know, 300 quid for a strawberry. Oh, I don't know. But then he was noticeably impressed with the flavour. Whether it's just, you know, ball shining for the sake of the documentary or not, I don't know, but he did seem impressed with this thing. But yes, fruits and vegetables have high um, selling prices, of course, because, well, one, it's a status thing, I think, because I think when you buy the most expensive one, that probably gives you dibs on, say, for instance, a batch or a, you know, a particular season or a particular swath of them. So yes, that's true. I would like to try expensive fruits and expensive meats in Japan, but I think if we could develop the food and drink side of this channel, and we take, you know, we can encourage monetary participation through Patreon, then yeah, of course, I'd love to try these things, but it's so hard to afford them out of my own pocket. um, but yeah, oh, okay, okay, you can so you can buy varieties of the um. Okay, we're being told you can buy varieties of the strawberries. on a stick, red, pink, and white, and they taste different. Now, I believe you have to. I think I've learned that you need to develop your palate when it comes to certain types of food and drink. So, the three major beer brands in Japan, Sapporo, Kirin, they've all been sold on the international markets. We've sold all three of those at the sushi restaurant that I used to work at. I used to work at Yo Sushi in the UK, and throughout the time I was working there, we've done all three brands. Now, I cannot tell the difference between one, two, or three. So I gave Howard a blind taste test to see which, if he could tell the difference between these beers, because the difference was indistinguishable to me. But no, advanced uh, his advanced beer taste buds could tell pretty easily between them. Whereas me, it's a lager. It's a lager. It's a lager. Same every time. So we did the same thing with chocolate. We picked up as much Japanese chocolate as we could find, different ones, the main brands, Meiji, Morinaga, Ghana. And even though I don't think I could distinguish them in a blind taste test, I could still tell differences between them. But Howard had a lot more difficulty in distinguishing differences between these chocolates, which I think so good for him, I think, because you can just go for the cheapest one each time. So I think if I was going to spend a sizable amount of money on or fruit in Japan, I think I'd probably like to train my way up first. You know, I'll go to the supermarket a bit of time ahead of time and buy cheap strawberries, the cheapest ones, Savor brand ones, you know, and I'll strawberries, okay, yeah, they're strawberries, and then I'd probably buy the next ones up, and then end up with like I don't know, Del Monte top 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 shelf strawberries. I don't know, but I'd like to know what I'm doing. I'd like to know what I'm doing when it comes to food and drink before I, experience the best. I want to know what I'm getting at. Okay, Sean has joined us. Hi, Sean. But yeah, I would like to explore Japanese food. That's kind of what I like doing. Howard likes to explore the music, and I like to explore food and drink. And yeah, it's something I really like to do. So yeah, one of my videos was going to be the Japanese children's beer, but I've decided to do that on live stream. I've done the child's beer. I've done that. I've done the Kit Kats. That took me a lot of time to get through all of those, but I do have a box of other Japanese. Here's my box of Japanese confectionery. It's got quite a lot in there. A lot of it probably isn't so fresh anymore, so I've kind of, done myself a bit of disservice by leaving them this long. But that's what have we got here? What's that one? That is crisps, chips. We've got other crisps. There you go. So, of course, there in Japan, you've got your traditional sweet shops. I suppose in the UK, we've got like the sweet shop in Charlie and the Chocolate Willy Wonka. No, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know, with all the jars and all the cheap sweets and everything. And in Japan, they've got these like I don't know, like Showa era, maybe not Showa era, maybe before that, but usually like a metal tin roof and old wooden dusty shelves, but they'll have all these sweets that never went out of fashion. And that's usually where I buy those sort of things, like the little bags with only like three potato chips in them, and like this stuff. It's like a sugar syrup. It's a sugar syrup with a little stick, and you just mix it around and pull it out. But that's a couple of the videos I want to do in the future. So yeah, the child's beer does not have any alcohol in it. Child's beer is just training wheels for children. But I really don't see um, people buying this for their kids when it comes in such an expensive, heavy glass bottle. So maybe this is for the nostalgia market. Maybe, if you're an adult and you want to drink your child's beer, I'll have to find the cheap stuff next time. I really want to. Next time I go to Japan to make videos, either with Howard or on my own, whatever, for the channel, then yeah, I want to get this stuff quickly and get through it. So yeah, beer drinking training wheels. The cheap brand is Sangaria. They're pretty much the cheapest food and drink producer around. Now the thing is, Sangaria, they're the guys who usually export their stuff to places around the world. Even in my shop, I've found a supplier for their stuff, and they'll do the Ramune in the glass bottles with the marble, and they'll do the melon cream soda in the bottles and stuff. So yes, Sangaria do the cheap stuff, but they're so cheap that you can still make money on them selling them in abroad. So, okay. Yes, another thing that's really, really big in Japan is Haagen-Dazs, the Baka Binge channel. Yeah, that's the dream. Is the Baka Binge, my own personal channel project. Hopefully, I'll get it going in near future. I don't know, but yeah, the side project for this channel is the Baka Binge. Yes, and I want to do more of that. So you got my box there, my box of Japanese food and drink. And what have I got here? This is Country Mom cookies, sweet potato flavor. Sweet potato flavor Country Mom cookies. Sakura flavored mints. Sakura mints. Very good. Yeah, a Baka Bake Off. That'd be great. Oh man, I tried making okonomiyaki this week, and the amount of ingredients that I had to swap out was incredible. I didn't have any dashi, so I used chicken stock, and I didn't have. You're supposed to use grated yam. You're supposed to get like a Japanese yam and grate it to give you some like a binding agent, but I didn't have that, so I diluted some instant mashed potato. So yeah, it still turned out okay. Yeah. As long as you've got plenty of cabbage, you've got the toppings. You can't go too wrong making okonomiyaki. So as long as you've got the cabbage, that's where most of the flavor comes from, and also the topping. It's about the sauce. It's about the toppings. You get your katsuobushi, your fish flakes. You get your green what is it? The seaweed powder, the aonori, spring onions, Japanese mayo. Yeah, jobs are good and you're fine. But Haagen-Dazs in Japan is incredible. They do such a good job. They bring out so many seasonal flavors. It's incredible. Now, I wish I could eat that much ice cream. I really wish I could. It's so hard to find the time to try every flavor. So difficult. Yes, in Japan they do the crispy sandwich, which is like it's the crispy sandwich. Yeah, it's like wafers on the outside and ice cream on the inside. I don't think we do those in the UK. I don't really browse the ice cream cabinets here in the UK that much. The thing is, in Japan, it's common. Um, in the UK, it's common for ice cream tubs to be like 500 ml, which is quite big, to fit in in your freezer. And in America, they do them in pints, which is slightly bigger than that even, I think. And it's so hard. When I go to if I go on holiday to the US, I want to try the Ben and Jerry's flavors, but it's difficult because you have to buy a big tub each time you want to change. You know, every time you want to try an ice cream flavor. In Japan, they've got it right because most ice cream comes in the individual, like the little individual size tubs. So you can buy it, you can eat it, you can get rid of it, you can move on, you can try another one, you can try a different one every day. But if I'm on a say like a 1 week holiday in the US, you know, I've got to buy a big tub of ice cream, find somewhere to keep it, and then have it within, you know, over the course of this. No, it's no good. Um, it's so bad. Yeah. Uh, and they do have quite a few. They've got most of the big brands of ice cream in Japan. They've got Ben and Jerry's, but Ben and Jerry's is quite expensive, and they don't bring out new flavors very often. You only get, I think, Cherry Garcia, Chunky Monkey, Fish Food, and for some reason the vanilla one, I think. So you can get those, but not everywhere. I think you can get them in Yamazaki Daily. I think that's the brand of the convenience store you can get Ben and Jerry's in. And then there's oh no, Yamazaki Daily is Baskin Robbins, which in Japan they just call it 31. But anyway, um, Baskin Robbins, you can buy those, but they're not very common. They're in Yamazaki Daily. And then Haagen-Dazs, yeah, you get them everywhere. Oh, the flavors they do, just incredible. Yeah, I think the most luxurious one I had was I think an anniversary flavor, and it was Turkish rose, and it was like a Turkish delight kind of flavor with a Turkish delight sorbet on top. That was quite good. Nowadays, they do a lot of traditional Japanese flavors. They do things like with unko in them and like, you know, like actual pieces of stuff and roasted soybean and stuff. But they do still do have things like, you know, like the sweet pumpkin pie or the banana and custard and everything. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. We're being recommended for the 100 bowl sober challenge. Oh yes, it's very popular now, isn't it? The old Wanko sober, the old Wanko sober challenge. That's another one they did on Paul Hollywood Eats Japan, which is the Channel 4 documentary series. So yeah, he did the Wanko sober challenge, and he also introduced us to this Japanese like food challenge YouTubers. These two, I think they're twins. These two women who are quite good at eating everything. I would like to do a food challenge. I think one of the places I'd like to go is in Japan. You get quite a few buffet places with all sorts of crazy food. So I'd like to go to a buffet in Japan, or the giant gyoza that I've seen on, I think, only in Japan and abroad in Japan have both done the giant gyoza challenge. So you can buy with ice cream. Back to Haagen-Dazs, you can get the small cups, but I think you have to buy them in multi packs. So you end up getting like, I don't know, three of the same. It's all right, but still. But yeah, Japanese in Japan, yeah, ice cream is easy to get hold of. Yeah, so much variety. That's what I love about Japan and their food is the seasonal items. You can go, they'll bring out something new every month. There's so much stuff to find and to see out there, and I love it. Um, it is great. So I want to do a little something about music. I want to move on to music. Because Howard does music. That's what a lot of people here are into. They're into the music. We did mention we got a little another mention for anime actually back here. Uh, yeah, yes. Where was I going to say that the offerings in anime for the past year and a half haven't been so great. Perhaps not. The way that I like to assess the anime market for the year, Giguk is a YouTuber, and he's a British YouTuber, and he does rundowns of the upcoming season or season just past of different shows that are out. So we've actually, yeah. So yeah, that's the way that I like to look at how the anime market's looking. Next year, sorry, this year, I'm looking forward to Attack on Titan final season coming along, which will probably be 2 parts. They say final season, but they'll probably do half of the final season like as a full season, and then the other half of the season later. So I finished watching Beastars on. Yeah, so I finished watching Beastars on Netflix. That was quite good. I'm planning on doing a video for that, like a full review, like a short review of Beastars and what I thought. And also another anime which is coming back again very soon, also on Netflix, is Baki, which was an old fighting manga, very ugly manga, very ridiculously muscular men. But a couple of YouTubers have done good videos on the history of Baki the Grappler, and this new anime on Netflix is quite good. I'm watching the dub for that. I quite like the dub. So yeah, Baki the Grappler and Beastars, the other anime I've just sort of finished watching, was done by the daughter of the author for Baki the Grappler. So yeah, very very interesting. So music. Talk about music for a little bit. Now, what Howard and I used to do was go into Book Off or Tsutaya, which is a bookstore, and have a look at the 100 yen CDs, the cheap CDs, and we want to randomly pick up a few 100 yen CDs without really knowing what they are, give them a listen and give them a review. But of course, it is so hard to get the music cleared. So it's a bit of a weird endeavor now, because you never know which CD is the one that's going to put your channel in peril. To be fair, but we did used to get cheap CDs. We did, and I do have some. And I'm not really that knowledgeable on Japanese music. Say Howard's Japanese music knowledge is so way up there. But these are some of the CDs that I've picked up randomly without knowing anything about them. We just look at the spines, and I'll go, right, I'll pick that up. Right, I'll pick that up. Well, it's only 100 yen. I'll pick that up. So here's the first one. I don't know if these bands are big. I don't know if they're popular. I don't know if they're cool. I don't know if Flumpool are big or not. I don't know how many bands come and go in Japan. I don't know how many come out and then disappear into the ether, ones that just. So this is Rastukoru. Yeah, that's Rasuto Koru. Core. Oh, Koru is core. Ah, okay. Yeah. Rust, is it Rust Core? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Rust Core. Yeah, one day I should listen to it, and I think I've just messed up the obi strip on the inside. Rust Koru. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so there's one of the things we'd like to. I'd like to review one day. Flumpool. Don't know how I'm going to get away with it, but we'll see. When did it come out? 2017? So not that old. Flumpool. So that's CD number 1. I want to show you CD number 2. Okay. Got 46, and there's a lot of girls in here. So it's not AKB 48. Maybe it's some other area 46. There they are. Have a look at that. There you go. So it says Kaya Keyakizaka. And it's got 46 written there. Okay. Oh, I'm guessing that must be the title. Keyakizaka. Oh, it's an ex-rental as well. There you go. That's the CD. Okay, well, what's the so that's the CD for this Keyakizaka. There you go. And the inside has got a doorknob, and we've got a portrait there, and then we've got two more portraits there. Oh, it's got their names. Okay. Who knows? Maybe one of these people come from another band. You never know. Uemura Rina. Uemura Rina. There you go. Music and arrangement. Okay. Bleh. Although the end lyric is Discord, yeah, Discord. There you go. Discord, yeah, Discord. There you go. You can use it as a Discord theme tune. There you go. Discord, yeah, Discord. I'll have to give that a listen sometime. Then the next one we've got Imaizumi Yui. That's this one. There you go. And then Kobayashi Yui. Two Yuis in one band. Didn't know that was allowed. Oh, okay. So Flumpool might be quite popular. We're being told they have 146,000 YouTube subscribers. Everyone, I suppose, most of these bands are big at some point or another, aren't they? Okay. Okay. Any English lyrics in this song? In the W Keyazaki, oops, Keyakizaka. There you go. Now the thing is, W's in Japan, W's in Japan are quite often used to signify double. Yeah, sometimes you'll see things in like fast food restaurants, like known as a W burger, but that's just a double burger. Oh, okay, Koike Minami, that one. There you go. Interesting. They've got kind of these welcome to the Black Parade kind of uniforms going on there. Oh, here's someone else. Okay, Ozeki Rika. There you go. Arrangement, the third. Oh, crikey, there you go. There's the lot of them. Yeah, these groups where there's a lot of them, like choir amounts of members. Yeah, popular, aren't they? I suppose because then there's something for everyone. You know, it's like the Netflix, the streaming service of bands. There's something in there that everyone will like. Although you've kind of got to like homogeny, haven't you? Really, a very homogenous band, to be honest. I mean, this one looks like she's making a bit of a statement. What is that? Is that like the tsundere of the group? She's the one who doesn't, oh dear, she looks like the tough guy. You got the tough guy right there. How many of them are there? That's a good question. Nobody asked. Okay, well, let's see if we can work this out, can we? All right, okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That looks like a head down there. On my camera, that looks like a head. Are they sitting on someone? So they've murdered one of them and put a decapitated head down there. But no, it's just a leg. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's a bit far back. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh dear. No, there isn't. There is not 46 in that picture, unless the rest of them up. No. Ah, they're probably keeping the rest of them in these two rooms. Although maybe they do those. Oh, okay. Oh, Lazy Lion might know these guys. But this is also from 2017. Yes. So, well, okay. Well, that's the room where they keep the rest of the girls that didn't make it into the photo shoot. But this is them. There you go. There they are. The Lazy Lion says, "I think I know them." Is this one of those things where they say that you're going to tell us that you went to school with them? Because that happens sometimes. I think I know her. She goes to my school. She's in my language class. Good Lord. Look at that. That's a lot of them. It's a lot of them, but it's not 46. So unless they do those things where they make make the fans phone in to vote, or if Japan is involved, they probably have to fax their voting. Yet again, I haven't listened to these CDs yet. The idea was to listen to them, listen to these like mystery. To me, a complete mystery. I'm a complete layman when it comes to these things. Listen to these mystery CDs and give my uninformed opinions like I used to. And the final one, okay, Maria Nishiuchi. What's that song? Motion. That's the other CD I've got. There. And you can see my kitchen in the reflection. There you go. There's me microwave, and there's me coffee machine, and there's me tiles, and a cupboard, and there's me fridge. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. Would have liked if they did like blind bags or something, or like blind CDs, so you don't know what you're getting. At conventions here in the UK, you can get blind bags of Japanese CDs from Japan Underground. They're a record company, JPU Records. They do mystery random bags of Japanese CDs. So if you're a Japanese like themed convention or trade show, or a couple of the comic book conventions, then yeah, go visit Japan Underground, JPU Records, and buy yourself a bag of mystery Japanese CDs. They also have a few bands signed to their own label, so why not? So, oh, that's losing us interest. People don't like that. Okay, fine. People don't like hearing about me plugging a place to buy Japanese CDs. Sorry. But yeah, that's that one. Don't know anything about it, unfortunately. I'm not sure if she's popular or not. There's the back image. There you go. And just 2 pages. There you are. Okay, lots of English, quite a few. Whoa, okay. The lyrics mention the number 1000 a lot. Wow, okay. What's 1000? Hyaku is 100, and man is 10,000. What's 1,000? I've forgotten 1,000 in Japanese. No, okay. But anyway, this these lyrics have 1,000 in it, a lot. And she also says, "Loving motion, yeah. Loving motion, yeah. Loving motion, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah." There you go. That's the song already. And the other song is "Won't." Oops. "Won't Leave Without a Fight." I'm not sure if it's mirrored on your side, but it's mirrored to me. Oh, Sen, of course. Yeah. We're paying with 1,000 yen note at the convenience stores. That's right. Okay. Sen, Ichi-sen. Yeah. Yeah. I should really pay more attention, because learning Japanese numbers shouldn't be that difficult, because when you go to a retail or convenience store or whatever and you hand over the money, they always count it in front of you and tell you how much you've just given them. It's so efficient. Love it. Yes, we are living in the same age. Yeah, baby, I won't leave without a fight. Oh wow. Haha ni iro. Oh wow. There you go. Such focus. Wow. Such focus. Much seeing. Wow. Uh okay. Okay. Yeah. We are living in the same age. Yeah. Oh wow. So it'd be interesting to listen to these. It really would, but I don't want to do it without making content. I'd really like to listen to these CDs. Also, they are some deep lyrics. They are fantastic. But then again, I bet the Japanese lyrics are great. I bet they're fantastic. They're really meaningful. So, okay, what we got here? Sim. They released a new music video called Baseball Bat. I would have liked to have. Is it like the whenever I hear a song called Baseball Bat, it just makes me think of Beyonce. And is it Beyonce Lemon just walks around with a baseball bat smashing things? I think so. Anyway, the only thing I know about like pop culture is in the jokes that late night TV hosts make. So that's the only place I'm really getting any exposure to these things, to these phenomenons. So I know that Billie Eilish has green hair because they've talked about that on Seth Meyers or whatever. So yeah, baseball bat. See, I'd like to react to that. I'd like to do a nice little listen, a nice little watch, and a little film myself about it. Song was not up my alley, but the video had some guest stars show up. Autocomplete, eh? Fantastic autocomplete. Guest stars show up, including Scandal and at least one member of the band that shall not be named. Is that the band that shall not be made? No. No, that's not a band. No, that's right. What? So talking about like the dramas and stuff on the channel. Um, being so the band that shall not be named, are they the big bad like band that I like but have done us a massive disservice by being bastards, which is a shame because they're like one of my favorites and they're amazing live. I've never heard such an amazing band live. And yeah, overprotective. Some of these Japanese labels and bands individually are so overprotective. So yeah, so those are a few of my mystery CDs. My non-mystery Japanese CDs are in my shelf there. Down a bit. There we go. It's mostly Poly 6 and Mad Capsule Markets. That's pretty much that entire shelf is Poly 6 and Mad Capsule Markets albums and singles. So yeah, that's my big collection. Yeah. Dear oh dear. So I don't know if the band that shall is like the heavy metal rock band that I'm a fan of, or if it's some pop group that have done something else bad and wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, there's an aftertaste again. It's so weird. I don't know what it is. It's like a wine that's corked. Oh, it's so awful. What is it? Anyway, ugh. I was going to review this Kit Kat as a joke. It's Japanese, regular, plain, ordinary red Kit Kat. I bought a selection of Kit Kats at the airport, and this was in the bundle. So it's just a regular Japanese Kit Kat. Arf, arf, arf. So I did bring over. Ooh, I did bring over a few other things to show you guys. Oh dear, yeah, okay. The band that did do all that. It's interesting that they guest starred in this other video, this baseball bat video. That's quite interesting. Yeah, so I did bring some other stuff to the table to show you guys, just so we've got something, to have conversation on. Because I didn't know. Oh God, this doesn't fit, does it? This is ridiculous. What an absolute like. Oh, what absolute fudge. There we go. I'm fudging this up. Howard's going to hate me. There we are. Yeah, because music isn't like a big thing for me, and I know that this stream is based around music. It's quite interesting to see what other aspects of Japanese culture or pop culture that the viewers here would be interested in. So I brought along this little book that I bought. I can't remember where I bought it from. I think it was from a Japanese bookshop in London. There used to be a really nice little Japanese bookshop in London called Adanami. Adanami used to be a karaoke place and a Japanese bookshop in central London in Brewer Street, which was right around the back of Piccadilly Circus. And I went in there for years and years and years, and I bought some good books, good books there. Well, I bought a book or two for Howard there as well. But anyway, I think nowadays they've just gone all out on the they've gone all out on the karaoke bar thing. So I don't know what they've done with all the books. Used to be able to get Japanese books, CDs, video games. But one of the books I picked up was this, Talking About Japan by Kodansha. Kodansha, yeah, they're a huge publisher in Japan, but they've also brought out a few of these bilingual books, and a couple of them are manga. Yeah, they brought out a couple of bilingual manga. They did Love Hina, and they've done Card Captor Sakura, and a couple of other like Master Keaton, I think, as well. A few different bilingual manga. So, yeah, talking about Japan. Now, the thing is, what this book is, it's oh no, no. I bought this at Book Off. There you go. Yeah, it's one of their labels. So yeah, I brought this. Yeah, I bought this at Book Off. Interesting. Great price, 200 yen. I mean, this book usually costs about 15 quid. Um, especially if you go and buy it in the UK. If you buy it from like a Japanese bookshop in London, it's going to cost you a fortune. So what this book is, it's cultural questions about Japan that people might have, and it answers them to the best of its ability anyway, but it gives it in Japanese and English. So it's good for people who want a bit of insight about their own country, and it's good for people who want to learn a language. So there you go. There's some examples of what I mean. That side Japanese, that side English, and we've got what proportion of the workforce is female? That's an interesting question. Good question to know about Japan, isn't it? But it's quite an old book, so the answers go back to 1993. 38%. There's your short answer. So, yeah. Maybe a future stream will be me doing the entire book. That'd be fun. I can just read to you. Story time. What sort of person is the current emperor? Well, that's an old question, isn't it? Gone. Done. What was he like? What's the climate like? What part has the most snow? What sort of work does the emperor do? What political parties are there? How many ministers in the cabinet? How are living national treasures designated? Well, see, there you go. Yeah, if you want me to go through some random questions in the random book, ask away. We can ask a question. I'll see if it's in the book. Hey, that'd be interesting. Dear me. So what I thought I would have done before I did this stream was maybe, look at the top 10 Japanese music charts, sort of whatever's new. That'd be good. If I'm doing this again next week, if it comes to it, then yeah. See, oh, okay. My guess is Okinawa has the most snow. Yes, lazy line. Yeah. Oh yeah, tons of it. Yeah, absolutely tons. Um, Okinawa was one of those that was in the Paul Hollywood documentary, and they were mentioning how like there's so many uh, American, because of course being the American military base and everything, they've got so many American fast food brands. And they showed this one street which had like McDonald's and Arby's and Big Boy and stuff, and I'm thinking, Yeah, but they have those all across Japan anyway." You do get a lot of these places around anyway. Oh, I can't remember. Howard and I went to this one island, and it was the setting of a film that he liked. So we went to visit this little island place, and they did have, yeah, the burger chain Big Boy, and I haven't seen a Big Boy anywhere else in Japan, and I'd want to go, but it's sort of like you'd have to get off the bus halfway between the nearest train station and this place. What was it? Jogashima, maybe? Jogashima Island? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty good. But I would like to try more of these places. American chains that I've been to in Japan. Okay, let's uh, let's talk about that. Oh, actually, I want to talk to you about this Okinawa food thing that they had for sale. They said it was a sushi, it was a rice taco, and the guy was like, "This isn't a taco. This is nothing like a taco. It was rice topped with minced beef, like with a seasoned sauce and cheese." And he's like, "This isn't a taco. It's chili con carne." I'm like, "Yeah, actually," but they wanted to do this whole theme with their food. They say it's like a rice taco, but it's not a rice taco. Uh, which actually leads me nicely into American fast food brands that are available in Japan. Taco Bell. You can get Taco Bell in Japan. I'm not sure how different it is to the American. I don't think it's that different. Taco Bell seems to have quite a limited menu, I find. That we do have them in the UK. They're quite rare. We've only got maybe about half a dozen branches of Taco Bell in the UK. Japan probably has the same amount. The easiest one to find is the one in Odaiba. There's a Taco Bell in Odaiba, quite easy to find. Uh, Other American brand, Wendy's. Wendy's are everywhere, quite easy. Uh, yeah, so yeah, Wendy's are everywhere because they've merged with a Japanese brand, First Kitchen. So Wendy's, First Kitchen are now one brand. McDonald's, they're easy to find. Burger King, yes. There's stuff about, oh, you can get Heineken at Burger King in Japan. Yes, you can. You can. Uh, Burger King aren't that stupendous in Japan, I find. Their specials aren't anything to write home about unless you're talking about the Halloween items. There was it Burger King's black bun, black cheese, black sauce burger that they did. How the Japanese Halloween black burger from Burger King. That's quite popular news stories about the most insane Japanese burgers. I had that. I happened to be around to have the black burger. That was quite good. Um, Yeah, maybe Big Boy is sort of going down in America as well. Yeah, apparently they are quite scarce, but America have so many different um, chains, and a lot of them do quite high quality decor and high quality food. I think it's taken for granted, to be honest. So I don't know how much of a how high tier Red Lobster is, for instance, but they're great. You know, they're just a regular place to eat because they're quite fancy compared to all the places we've got back here. I'll tell you what, when it comes to your chain places, you've got a lot of them in the US. Um, no Red Lobster in Japan, as far as I know. You do have Carl's Jr. in Japan. Carl's Jr. is in Akihabara, and it seems to be quite high class. It looks quite expensive. I've never had it. I'd like to. Uh, Arby's. They're known for their roast beef, I believe. Arby's are also in Okinawa, but I don't know if I've seen them anywhere else. A&W, famous for their root beer. I think I've seen them in Canada, but I haven't seen them very much in the US, if at all. And they are also in Okinawa, it looks like. But for me, as for me right now, I am in the UK. I am just outside of London in Kent, right on the border between Kent and London. So I can go to central London once these places reopen. There are a few American chains that we have in the UK now that I'd like to try. We do have, for instance, Shake Shack. Shake Shack is in central London. They're quite expensive for my tastes. I've seen that in Japan as well. Howard, I think, has been to Shake Shack in Japan. I think they're in Shibuya or Shinjuku. They used to have Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme were in Japan as well. I think they're around the same area where that is, the Shake Shack. So I'd like to try them. Say Taco Bell, Shake Shack, yes. What else is in Japan, which is American? Um, Oh man, I think that's pretty much it. There's probably others. So yeah, Big Boy was another. So uh, now, as for knowing a lot about, yeah, yes, I know a lot about US fast food. I'm a burger man. I do love burgers and pizza and fast food and everything. The There are a few American places I'd like to go to that I haven't been to yet. There's a Walmart just outside of New York City that I like to go to, and that's in Secaucus in New Jersey. And it's an easy bus ride. You go to the it's an easy bus ride from the Port Authority bus station, top floor. I think it's the number 38 bus, and it goes to Secaucus in New Jersey. And there's a big Walmart there that I like to go to. And there's a branch of Red Robin there, and I want to try it. I want to try Red Robin. I want to see what they're like. I don't think I've come across a branch of Sonic. That's a fast food place in America that I'd like to try. Um, I haven't tried Carl's Jr. in the US. I've tried Wendy's. They're good. Wendy's in Japan did this interesting item. It was called the Wild Rock Burger, and it had burgers instead of bread for the bun. It's basically a meat bun. So I don't know if they've done that in the US at all, but it's the Wendy's square burgers, but used as a bun. So meat with mayo, lettuce, and tomato in the middle, with another slab of meat underneath. I had that in Mishima, a little town which has the Mishima is this little place in Japan. It's on the Shinkansen route in the Tokaido region, and it has good views of Mount Fuji, and it has a central park where you can pay about, I think it's only about 500 yen to get in, but it's got some really good exhibits. It's got wild animals like capybaras, and it's got a little zoo which has other exotic animals. Um, Depending on how you feel about that kind of thing, I was a little conflicted about it. But they also have a static train. They've got really good walks, but they've also got this other attraction called the Mishima Skywalk, which is like a rope bridge. Which is hard to get to. But while we're in Mishima, we found a branch of Wendy's, and I had the Wild Rock Burger there. TGI Fridays. Yeah, we just had TGI Fridays mentioned. We have TGI Fridays in the UK. They're they're quite common in like big shopping centers and in some high streets. Japan, I'm not sure they have it. I think it would go down well because um, uh, yeah, because this whole Americana thing, they're very flashy and wild. But Hard Rock Cafe, yes, almost, almost said it. Hard Rock cafes, they have this following. I've only eaten at one of them. They've got them in central London, and they've got one in Ueno train station. And the thing about Hard Rock Cafe is those bloody pin badges. I was at Ueno station just walking in, and this American guy stopped me. He's like, "Oh, could you go into the Hard Rock Cafe and get me a pin badge, please?" Like, he gave me the money for it, obviously, and I was like, "All right then." And I thought there's got to be something about this, so I looked it up, and there's this big market for collecting their pin badges. The only Hard Rock Cafe I've actually gone into and had anything to eat or drink was the one in Amsterdam. So we were there with friends, and it's kind of like a little spot for them because it's where they first hung out. But yeah, so that's the only one I've actually been to. The menu seems a bit expensive for me. I don't like places that are too expensive. Um, where was it? There was it's mostly burger chains that I'm interested in. I do like the In and Out burger at San Francisco. Went to the. I mean, you hear so much about them. So yeah, I went to In and Out at the Fisherman's Wharf, and we went to Denny's for breakfast. Denny's, there in Japan. Yes, I've been to Denny's in Japan. Um, okay, let's have a look at some of these other mentions. Cracker Barrel. No, I would like to. I'd like to try them. I've been to Olive Garden. I went to Olive Garden in Broadway in New York. It was okay, nothing incredible. Cheesecake Factory, however, is a different story entirely. I'm not sure how people can go to Cheesecake Factory and have a starter, an appetizer, have a main course, and then have the cheesecake as well. It's incredible because we went to a Cheesecake Factory and we had to take half of it home. We had to take half of our main home and like our cheesecake. But the food is so rich, but it's so dark in there. I mean, everyone was using their mobile phone to look at the menu. It was so dark. And that's the one at Union Square in San Francisco. Absolutely crazy. IHOP, International House of Pancakes. Not in Japan as far as I know, but I have tried them. So basically, if I go on holiday to the US or Japan, whatever, I like to eat at chain places. I love to eat at chain places because the quality is consistent and you can relate to it with people. I don't like going to these little places where no one else knows where it is, or you can't say, "I'll go here," because I love chain places. So when we went to San Francisco last year, we went to a different chain place every day. Wetzel's Pretzels, their little hot dog bites, were great, so good. And IHOP was one of those places that we had to have breakfast. It was fine, yeah. Um, so Denny's, you got to have a Grand Slam. You got to have the thing that you've heard of, basically. So international high. No, they're not. I don't think International House of Pancakes are international. We don't have them in the UK. They don't have them in Japan, as far as I know. I don't know what other countries they have them in. So strange. So um, okay, so Highland Inn been mentioned. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that place yet. No, no, I haven't heard of that one, so I have to try that. Of course, Japan has its own fantastic range of fast food places. The fast food places in Japan, you've got Freshness Burger, which I think when you order their food, it comes in a little fake wicker basket, little plastic wicker basket that your food comes in, and of course Moss Burger. If you take a trip to Japan and you forget to go to Moss Burger, if you're leaving the country through Haneda Airport, they do have a Moss Burger at Haneda Airport. So if you've got a little pocket full of change and you feel like getting a little bit of Japanese fast food before you go, Moss Burger in Haneda is a really good place to spend a few hundred yen and get a tasty burger. That's right. Yeah, Freshness Burger and Moss Burger, and it's, it's the curry places and the is it Yoshoku or Teishoku? I can't remember which one's borrowed and which one is native, but both of those Yoshoku, Teishoku places where you can always get something to eat. They're really great too. But we found this. Howard introduced me to this new place. I don't know how much of a chain it is yet, but I can really recommend it because it has multilingual ordering screens. If you find yourself around the Ueno area, so around the entrance of Ueno Station, you've got the bicycle parking, and then the exit is right by the. There's an exit by the train gates, the ticket gates. So right next to the ticket gates, you get a little set of stairs, and then you'll see a branch of Wendy's. If you walk past that and around the corner, there's a Kinko's on the corner. You'll see it. But if you don't cross the street, if you go past Wendy's and around the corner, there's a little place. Or you can always Google Maps it. A place called My Curry. Oh, really nice. It's nice and clean and modern and minimalistic, and the food's affordable and it's really good. So, Lotteria. Ah, okay. I've been asked about Lotteria. I think Howard and I went to one last year. I think I wanted to review a bit of food. I was testing a new camera, and testing it, we didn't get it right, but I have been to Lotteria. I'd like to go more often. They seem to do incredible specials. I've seen some fantastic looking specials at Lotteria. I might have to make a bit of an album online or something. Maybe I should add it to the Your Friends in Japan Facebook group. Just add some photos of the specials that I've seen at Lotteria. They do seem really creative. Yeah, I'd like to go there more often. The thing that kind of gone so many times, but I still get worried about places that don't have that you're not sure that you can order in English. So I do get kind of scared of going to Lotteria. Um, yeah, see, massive stacks. Yeah, massive stack burgers. I don't get the point of those. I don't something you can't if you can't fit it in your mouth, what's the point? Still, yeah, Lotteria are pretty good. The other one, oh, not Lotteria, but there is another uh, chain which is similar to Lotteria. Oh no, it wasn't similar at all. Caesarea. Caesarea is like a pasta place. I've been there. I've been to Caesarea. And Jonathan's. I think I've been to Jonathan's once, which is another kind of we don't need TGI Fridays because we've got Jonathan's. I think that's the thing. I went to Jonathan's, I think, once in 2005. So too long ago for me to remember if it's any good. Actually, TGI Fridays, I think there's one at Tokyo Dome. I think there's a TGI Fridays across the road from Don Quixote at the Tokyo Dome complex. Was it the Lakua Park, the shopping center at Tokyo Dome? That's right. Yes, the one. Oh, that's true. So yeah, lots. Maid cafes. Have I been to any maid cafes? Once or twice. I went on a trip with a group in 2005, and we went to a maid cafe that is still around. We went to a place called Kozcha. Kozcha was one of those places which allowed us to come in, and we all hung out there. We all hung out at Kozcha. Uh, yeah, so they're still around. And that one, I don't know if they still have the same motif now or if they change it every now and again to keep things fresh for their customers. But that was one where we all sat at school desks and the menu was on a big blackboard at the front of the place. So that was the maid cafe I went to in 2005. Yeah, yeah, sitting at school desks with a blackboard at the front of the room. I think I've got footage of that trip, but I can't remember if it will come out very well because you weren't allowed to film anywhere. So yeah, and of course, mobile phone cameras weren't a thing either. So I had it on a big, bulky, like mini DV tape camera. Uh, but a couple of years ago, I can't remember which year. I think it was 2014, maybe. I did end up going to another maid cafe just because we were with people and they said, "Oh, should we go to a maid cafe?" I'm like, yeah, all right then. But I know that the price is high for, you don't get much for your money. I think I had a burger and a small drink at a maid cafe, and it's interesting. It's pretty harmless work for the staff. I mean, they get to dress up in a nice, expensive dress. They get to dress up, and they do this job for maybe a few months, make good money, hopefully, and not end up with any obsessive customers. Here's hoping. But that episode of South Park, Raisins, where what is it? Like they go to that Hooters type place, and it kind of feels like a maid cafe, really. And Butters gets obsessed with this one staff member, and yeah, you do get stories about stuff like that. There was an old 1980s manga I was reading called Club Nine. It's not about a maid cafe; it's about a hostess bar, but it's the same kind of thing. It's the kind of troubles that the staff go through. It's one girl who works there. The author is Makoto Kobayashi, and it's called Club Nine, and it was published by Dark Horse back in the early 90s. Unfortunately, they didn't bring out every volume. It's out of print now anyway, but the whole series was published in a magazine called Super Manga Blast. Kind of hard to get hold of anyway. So that's yeah, that's kind of an insight. Yeah. It's true. Yes, they are kind of fun as long as you don't read too much into it. It's true. Yeah, as with any, I suppose, subculture or any hobby or any interaction at all, I suppose you do get obsessives who take it too far and they ruin all fun of it. Of course, yeah. If it's if it's somewhere we can sit down and go, "Hoo-hoo," of course, a lot of the clientele nowadays, and of course back then, back in the mid 2000s, when tourism wasn't a massive thing in Japan, it was just for the local clientele. But now it's a big thing for tourism. Tourists come in, they're only in Japan for 1 week or 2 weeks at the most. It's a once in a lifetime journey. And yeah, they'll go to a maid cafe and they'll enjoy it and they'll go, "Oh, wasn't this quirky? Wasn't this fun?" And then they'll leave, and that's great. So it's true. Have I watched the anime Maid Summer? No, 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 no. I think I've seen the manga around. I don't think I've got any volumes of the manga in stock at the moment, so I might get a copy to read, and then sell secondhand in my shop. Why not? So we're coming up to the 2 hour mark, and I think that's usually as long as Howard lets it run for. I think 2 hours is plenty. So we'll try and wrap up the conversation points soon. But it'd be great to continue soon and do some more on the weekly live stream. Some other things I did have put aside to show people quickly, just wanted to I've got them out, so I'll put them away. Is these Sakura Mochi chocolates by a company called Toriru, and I was going to go on a bit about what that company is and what they do, and also I was going to show you Meiji chocolate Melty Kiss. Because they've got a funny name, but also because they're quite interesting and they're seasonal. And I was going to tell you a bit about Meiji Chocolate's Melty Kiss brand. So, yeah, so that's some stuff I didn't get time to go into this time around. Hopefully, the channel song is going quite well. We'll see how that develops over time. We'll have a look at what comes up when it comes to general film and edited and uploaded channel content. I'm going to try and get some stuff done. Yes. Another point about maid cafes. Yeah, 2017, so not that long ago. Yeah, you went to one and you were the only tourist. The thing is, there's so many there that if you find an out of the way one, then it can, I suppose, depending on time of day, I suppose it can be quite easy to be the only tourist in there. Most of the customers are female. That's interesting. Yeah, I think even though it's an inward society where people kind of keep themselves, within themselves, they do have some pretty interesting hobbies. Um, I know that say over here, people are generally not into having so much in the way of hobbies. You know, they watch a soap opera on TV, they'll watch X Factor, I mean, the pedestrian regular stuff out here is pretty naff. Whereas in Japan, you know, kids read manga at a certain age, you know, all the way going up throughout their adult and young lives. But there's so much variety for those things that they can find their own niche. It's so much easier for people to find a niche because they've got so much um, choice. You know, like there's like 40 odd different manga serials that you could like read a month. So not every kid is doing the same thing. So yeah, people do develop their own individual tastes and hobbies, and that's why you get these women who have got these interesting hobbies and they want to go to a maid cafe. And I suppose because it's more or less a non-threatening place, I guess a lot of them, yeah, they like the sweetness and they like the cuteness and they, yeah, say it's a non-threatening place to go. So I can imagine, I can see why it's popular with them. You know, I suppose some of them even like the whole being called princess angle. Say the amount of women you find in the secondhand bookshops, like browsing the manga and of all kinds. You know, they've got their own section. You know, they've got your shoujo manga section. It's, yeah, not unusual. So it's pretty interesting. I'm being told, yeah, Maid Summer is available to watch on Amazon Video. Amazon Prime in the UK. I don't know if you're talking about the UK market here, Amazon Prime, but Amazon Prime in the US and the UK are quite different. We do have a lot of cheap and naff programming on the on Amazon Prime over here, but they do lump together a lot of different services into Amazon Prime in the UK. Like you can watch, I think you can subscribe to almost into you can. I think you can subscribe to Funimation Plus or Plus. Well, you can subscribe to Funimation for anime through Amazon Prime. You can't watch Crunchyroll for free. You have to get that as a separate app. Stars Entertainment do some anime. That's no one you have to pay for an add-on. I do have general Amazon Prime for film and TV. So whatever's on Amazon Prime in the UK, I can watch here. Crunchyroll and Funimation, I have their apps on my TV, but I don't go into them very often. So I don't get much time alone with me TV. So I don't watch that much. So maybe in the next week or so, I can watch some anime casually, do a little review, put that as content for the channel. We'll see how that goes, and if it develops into a thing, we'll see. This is why even though because the channel isn't monetized, I think Patreon is a really good thing because the thing that stops me from doing stuff and making content and watching anime is the fact I have a business to run. You know, what I'd like to do is pay someone a wage to run my shop for the day, and then I can spend that time producing content. We'll see. Say that's how some people do it. You know, they put the time into it. So we'll see. I want to do a review of Beastars this week. If I've got another short anime I can watch or get the gist of, I can probably do a review on that too. So we'll see how we go. Maid Summer. I will see if Summer is on UK Amazon Prime, or if it's on Crunchyroll or Funimation. The problem with Funimation is you can't watch everything. You have to pay for certain stuff. So it'll give you like episodes 1, 2, and 4 of a season. But if you want to watch episode 3, you have to pay for it. So that's kind of bad. Yeah. So that's the deal with that. Yeah, maid cafes. Maybe if we end up with a bit more uh, financing, if Howard and I have a bit more disposable income to use for content, we can go to places like maid cafes and bring our own little spin on it. I mean, our old videos were just us wandering around places in Japan, Sapporo or Tokyo, and observing the things we found. So, yeah, I'd like to do a bit more of that. I'd like to go to a place like a like a maid cafe or whatever. Yeah, animal cafes are a different thing, though. I mean, it's hard to find ones that are reputable or or well, that's pretty much it, really. That's safe for the animals and reputable. The fact that they're around, it's one of those things. It's like it's happening and it exists. So should we go look while they're around? Yeah. On the other hand, I don't really want to support too many of them. I mean, you walk around some areas like Asakusa and Akihabara, and you'll see like people with like an owl on their shoulder or a hedgehog in their hand, and you're like, that's not right, is it? You know, it's like cat cafes can be different. There are some good ones out there that support adoptions and support non-pedigree breeds, just mongrels and stuff, which are great because it doesn't encourage selective breeding. Because the problem with selective breeding is it's selective, which means ones are selected, which in turn means ones are rejected. And you don't want to think about what happens to the rejected living, breathing animals that don't make the cut in this selective breeding process. So this is why, yeah, I think the pet industry is one of my least liked things about Japan. Anyway, not much anime, but I like not much into anime, but I liked Violet Evergarden. Yeah, line. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the thing about anime is that it's an interesting medium in that we'll always kind of find things that we're into. We'll find something that kind of gets our attention and we'll watch it. For me, I think Death Note is one of those perfect series that you don't have to be into anime to enjoy it, and anyone can watch it, and hopefully most people will like it. Violet Evergarden, I think that's KyoAni. I think that's a Kyoto Animation title. So yeah, I think that's one that I might have to watch. That's available on Netflix, I believe. So one thing I can recommend was Weathering with You. I think I liked it more than Your Name because it sticks in the contemporary um, city environment. I like city environments. I think my favorite. I could easily watch the first half of Your Name over and over again without having to bother watching the second half. So, Weathering with You, however, I think I could watch the whole thing easily enough quite often. That's quite good. So, if we've got conversation topics that are hanging, that's great because we can continue with those another time. And I've got content in the bag for the next live stream. We're about 5 seconds away from 2 hours, so I think that's a really good to sort of drop it off before I get too stuck for words. Slice of life or rom com anime is my preferred as well. I like things that I like grounded stuff. I like things set in the modern day. I like stuff with modern limitations to an extent, you know. Yeah, because I like looking at the Japanese life experience, or people who normally wouldn't talk about how their life is. They can express it through anime. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, I do love slice of life, realistic sort of things about like insights that I don't have myself. What's it like for like Japanese people? What's it like for Japanese women? What's it like for women in general? Things that I'm not, but things that I things that I'm not, but also things that I can interact with, you know. So that's why I like knights and dragons and magicians and monsters and creatures. They don't really appeal to me because I don't really have any interaction with those things. I'm not into fantasy, you know. I quite like real life. So yeah. High school and get into the animation style. It's kind of strange. Uh, I, I, I might give it a go, and then I can do a little review on it. I'll probably watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and then I can give an insight into it, and then load that as a video for this channel for the Bucker broadcast. So why not, indeed? So now I've got a couple of ideas. I've got a few things to look into. I've got that baseball music video I could look into. I've got Maid Summer I can look into, and I've got High School Gal that I can look into. So maybe we'll see if I can produce some some content for those. The problem is that my computer is extremely slow, and that editing and even uploading footage to this computer is ridiculously mad, and the RAM expansion cradle is missing on this laptop, so I can't even upgrade the RAM. So poor me. And the place I bought it from is closed because of quarantine, so I can't even return it and get a new one just yet. So anyway, with all that in mind, we've had a constant of about 8 viewers live at the time. I think the highest we had was 11, but that's when I was getting up to reach my cupboards, and then we went back down to 9 pretty quick. So cheers very much. I say sorry we couldn't work on the song a bit more, the song we've been working on, but we can get to that. We can get to that. There's plenty of time. There's loads of time in the future, loads of time, and the past ain't been so bad either. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up, sign off now, because I do watch the old live streams sometimes, and I put them on at like 1.25 speed so I can get through them. So I think getting through a 2 hour recap is going to be quite difficult in the future. So thank you very much for bearing with me. Thanks for watching, even though I'm not Howard and I can't talk about music too much. But I think we've filled the time pretty well. If you're available next week, if Howard's not available to do this, I'll be back. I like to try and keep it consistent. I do like to try and follow the rules. You know, the rule is stream at well, in the UK, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll try and do that. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah, if you want to come at me with some topics for next time, I mean, I did quite enjoy talking about American fast food chains. Maybe next time I'll tell you about some UK ones, and I'll give you a bit of an insight into the low level of fast food and casual dining we have in the UK compared to the US and Japan. So yeah, staying healthy is fine for me now because I was extremely ill at the beginning about 2 months ago. So yay! You might have seen me on the old stream a couple of months ago. Yeah, so yeah, recovery's been great. It's so brilliant to be able to talk and breathe. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. As we like to say on this channel, ciao ciao, matane everyone. Yeah, again, thanks to the moderators for keeping an eye on things, even though it's been pretty good this time around. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll catch you during the week, hopefully. So I'm going to go and click my little end stream button, and that'll be the end of it. So mata ne, arigatou gozaimasu, ciao ciao, and till then, oh yes, Discord. Always find people on the Discord to chat and come up with new content for us. Okay. Thank you, everyone.